Hey there, I'm Mike Ferris. Welcome to another Acrylic Asylum painting lesson. In this video, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go over the woman under the water, as you see here. This is underwater photography, as they call it, and it came as a request from one of my followers, Jackie. So Jackie, thank you so much, and everyone else, thank you for all of your support. So with that said, let's jump on in. Alrighty, I'm going to be starting on my 8x10 hardboard canvas here, and as you can see, my image traced out using wax transfer paper. Don't forget to check out Patreon if you'd like to trace out the image beforehand, and also all the colors and materials. And I got a short video on how to transfer images to your canvas with wax transfer paper. Okay, so I have my 3/4 angle brush. I'm going to get the background. I'm going to do all of these tones of blues and turquoises, and I'm going to start off with my palette. I'm going to have raw umber, some phthalo blue. This is violet, phthalo green, permanent red, cad orange, yellow medium, and always titanium white. Okay, so with this brush, I'm just going to take just a little bit of some raw umber. I'm going to get a little phthalo green to that so I can get it this turquoise color, and now just a little bit of white. Okay, so let's see. A little bit more green, actually. And let's get some more white to that. Okay, I'm looking for a nice turquoise color. Okay, maybe a little bit more blue into that. I can just grab some from up there, pull it down into this a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit more white. Just want to brighten this up just a little bit more. Okay, I'm thinking something like this. And I'm just going to get colors in the general location where they go. And with this angle brush, I can get around things pretty well and precise. Okay, so as you can see right here, and I can just brush these lines out. Okay, into the canvas just like so. Okay, so I'm just going to get this general base color down. Okay, just kind of something like this to start with. Okay, without cleaning, I'm just going to take some phthalo green and some more white. I'm going to go into some of this here. Okay, so it's kind of got that like more green hue to it now. I just kind of wanted to change up the flavor just a little bit and add some more of that turquoise on the green side, just a little bit right in here. Okay, it's not that big a deal, it's whatever. Without cleaning now, I'm going to take some phthalo blue and some raw umber together. Essentially, you get your own black, and I wanted to get this more natural and realistic looking, so I kept permanent black out. I just want to make my own black with raw umber and phthalo blue here. It's a very dark Payne's gray, but it is kind of black. And it's got that blue hue in it. That's what I want to do here. So I'm just going to, like I said, generally kind of put colors where they go for now. Okay, and I'm going to knock stuff back and all that good stuff, but okay, I know it's not very neat looking right away. I'm just laying color in where it goes. It's all good. Okay, and let's see. Maybe going something like this. Well, I don't know. This is going to be like the reflections of the hair off of her against the water there. Okay, kind of something like that. Now, let's see. I'm going to get a little bit of white. Let's go some more phthalo blue into this. Okay, a little bit more actually. Okay, I'm thinking something maybe like that. And down in here, I want to get it more blue because it looks like the water's going deeper. Okay, up here where there's more phthalo green in it, it's more towards the surface. So I wanted to get this effect here. Okay, and when I bring this up, I just want to dust it up like so. And if I go too far with this value, I can always take that lighter turquoise stuff and blend back over this darker blue value. and it knocks it back and it puts the blend more where you want it and where it should be. Okay, just kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to take that up. Don't be afraid to take this up as far as it needs to go to blend out all the way. Again, you can always take the other color and blend over. But if you stop short because you're like, well, that's too far, and you get this hard line, that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult to blend. So always take it further if you have to, just to get that blend and that faded dissipation of paint there. Because a gradient, you know, when it's already like that, it's easy to blend back the other way. You don't have to fight a hard line. And so I say just go for it. Okay, always staying relaxed. The best jobs come out, I believe, when you're more relaxed. All right, down here as well. Okay, I'm actually going to go to a smaller 18 angle brush here to do some things. And I'm going to continue up here to build some of the water disturbance and what looks to be the surface that she's coming up to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go phthalo blue and raw umber again. And I want to get a little bit of white into that. Okay, just get a little bit more raw umber to gray that down. Okay, kind of something like that. And I got my angle brush all loaded up with that nice chiseled edge. And I'm just going to go in here and kind of use the tip of this right here to just kind of go. And then look, if I press harder, and then just with the edge again, leaving the canvas and just letting the edge touch, you can get these little shapes in here like that. Okay, just little water things. I don't know. Make them up. If you don't like them, take this background color, cover it back to any degree, maybe all of it, maybe just some of it because it's too thick and you have to shave it down or whatever. Okay, so use this, and I'm just going to go just kind of freestyling it. Just kind of something like that. Okay, just kind of brushing this lighter stuff over some of this. It's all good, you know. I'm just gonna do whatever. All right, so something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. I want to make up some values here. I'm gonna make up one value. It's actually gonna be on the face as well, so I'm gonna get a lot of white here. Let's see, something like that. I just want a teeny touch of red. Maybe a little bit more than that. Okay, so it's this light pink color here. Okay, now what I want to do, I'm going to take and dull that just a hair with some raw umber. Okay, a little bit more raw umber. Okay, essentially what I'm going to do by adding more white to this is make a paint, not a Payne's gray, a portrait pink, a light portrait pink. Okay, so something like that. Palette knife here, and I'm going to grab some of this dulled down pink here that I like to call light portrait pink. Okay, something like this. Okay. And of course, reflections, the color that's reflecting in water is usually darker than the object it's reflecting. So I'm going to make face values lighter than this, but this is the base color for it, and I'm going to add more white to desaturate that more, but that'll be for the reflections of her face off some of the water here. Okay, so with my same brush, I'm going to take this. Okay, just kind of something like that. And I'm going to go in here and run along some of these lines here that I did and kind of show this number here. See, like this. And one thing I'd like to do is kind of blend this up a little bit more. I'm going to actually take just a little water to reactivate this. I'm going to go into some of that blue. I'm going to say something like this, kind of an in-between this dark value and this other one. Okay, something like that. See that? There we go. Okay, just wanted to blend a little bit more, just kind of improve on it, maybe, I don't know. Okay, there we go. I like that. Okay. All good. Okay, I'm going to keep working on this water up top here. I'm going to clean this brush off, this angle brush. Okay, I have a number 6 nylon flat brush here. And I'm going to go in here and keep doing some things. So let's see, I want to go some titanium white into that turquoise value here. Okay, really light this time. And let's go, I want to work kind of some of this in here, just like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean that off. Now what I want to do is we'll just take just a little bit of this. Okay, very little paint on the brush, and just want to finish out kind of right here where I was doing. Okay, something like that. I don't know. However. Okay. All right, something like that. Now I'm going to get some more raw umber, and I want to go into this value again. And what I want to do is take this darker value like this. Yeah, it's got more raw umber in it now, and I want to go in here and kind of run some of these around. All right, something along those lines there. Okay, just here and there, not everywhere. See, I got other values, but they're all playing together here. Okay, and I actually want this one to be almost all covered up for the most part with this value. Okay, I don't know why. I just do. Okay, and let's see. Now what I want to do is get a little bit of orange and a little bit of this yellow medium here. And let's go into some of this again. Okay, just teeny little variances. Not much, and watch, I can get... And actually, I want just a little bit more orange. Not much, it'll eat up everything if I let it. Okay, see, I want to go back into some of that other light portrait paint color that I made there, just to kind of mix it in and knock this back a little bit, but not too dramatic. Okay, kind of like that. I want to dab this here and there like that. Okay. Just these cool little effects, these little things here. Right, all good. Now, cleaning that brush. See, I want to take my number 3 nylon round brush here with that nice point on it. I can use that to do all these little bubbles and movements of the water and the details and all that stuff. So let's see, I'm going to kind of start mapping out stuff first. I'm going to get some raw umber and phthalo blue together. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of white. Okay, something like that. Kind of a dark value, but not too dark. Okay, something like this. Okay, pulling through, and I turn it, and look at how it gives that nice tip on the end there. As I turn it, pulling it through, it just loads it really nice that way. And loading the brush and how you load it is super important to get precision and certain things that you want to do and pop and all those things. Okay, so I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to make some of these bubbles to start with. Okay, just kind of making, you know, they're kind of connected in a way. Okay, just kind of something like that. I don't know. Just kind of going for it here. Let's see, I'm going to... It's going to be surrounded by this darker stuff and really pop this bubble-like effect out. And I felt like if I was going to do titanium white first without that dark in there, it would just kind of get lost against this light portrait pink stuff. When you put white, you know, light colors against each other, it doesn't really pop. It just doesn't, you know, things just don't happen that way. Gotta have the contrast. Okay, so see, just going like that. And just getting this kind of filled in a little bit, yeah, like that. Okay, and actually there's a bit of this dark value up in here, in fact. What I like to do is take some of this turquoisey color here. Okay. And let's see, I want it a little bit more blue. Let's see, yeah, something like that. Okay, see that? You can just change the value. All good. All right. And I kind of want to knock some of this back right here. See, I kind of feel like I got too carried away with some of that portrait pink out here. I want to bring it back this way. See, I can always adjust something. I saw that and I'm like, that's too far. For my liking, anyway. Again, make yours how you want to do it. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. But I'm just knocking this back just a bit. And now I want to clean this brush. I want to just take raw umber. Maybe just a little bit of this portrait pink. But mostly raw umber. Okay, something like that. And I want to go in here with this value here. See that? Okay. Just kind of having some of that in here. Okay, just a little bit. Alright. It just gives more movement to the water, I think, that way. Okay, cleaning this brush off. I take my number 3 nylon round brush again. And this time, I want to take some titanium white, just plain titanium white. Okay, pulling through again as I turn it. Loading the brush to a nice tip. And let's see, I want to go in here. You're just kind of doing this. Okay, let's see. Alright, I'm going to play some values in here. And really ramp some things up here. So I think I'm just going to stick to the same brush here. And I'm going to go into some of this phthalo blue and phthalo green. Okay, for that nice turquoise color again, maybe a little bit more phthalo green. Alright, let's get some more white. And again, this is my number 2. I'm sorry, this is my number 3 nylon round brush here, okay? Okay, I think I want to do something like that. Maybe get a little bit more white. Okay. And I want to go back in here and watch. I just want to... Okay. Just kind of sets that off a little bit, I think. Use my finger. Okay, just kind of doing some things like that. Okay, and okay, cleaning a lot of that paint off, and now I'm going to go back to phthalo blue and raw umber. Okay, pulling through. Let's see, those colors mix, pulling through, turning it to a point. Okay, and again, alright, cleaning my brush again. Okay, and now I want to take just pure titanium white again. Okay, pulling it through as I turn it. And let's see, once again, I'm going to make up some tones for the face here. So what I'd like to do is grab more titanium white into this value that I made. Remember, that's just a teeny bit of raw umber, a teeny bit of red, and a lot of titanium white. Okay, really, really light value here. Very, very light. Okay, so something like this, I think. This is basically like my highlight color. Probably made more than I needed to make, but that's okay. Picking it up, smashing it down. Okay, that's one value. I'd like to take some more raw umber into this mixture here. Okay, a little bit more red. And let's get just a little bit of white. Okay, I'm gonna go actually some more raw umber into this. Okay, now a little bit of white. I don't want it quite that dark. Something like this. I can always adjust these values. I'm gonna go ahead and set this right here. Okay, so I got those two values made now. Okay, so I've added some burnt umber to my palette here, and I'm gonna go ahead now and I'm going to take some yellow. Okay, just a little bit, and I'm gonna take some of this burnt umber. Okay, to dull that back. Okay, a little bit more yellow. Okay, so brown was just to dull it down a bit. Okay, I'm going to wipe a lot of that paint off the brush. And I'm going to take some titanium white. Okay, just a little bit. I'm going to go into this value here. Just smashing it down, picking it up again, smashing it down. All good. Okay, I want to take a little bit more white into this. Okay, actually, add a bit more there. There we go. Okay, something light and muted like this. A muted kind of yellowish beige. Alright. Okay, getting all those empty pockets of color mix, picking it up, smashing it down. Whole reason I do that. Okay, now I'm going to just pick that up. Set that down like right there. Okay. And I've got now these three values here. Okay, just different values to play in on the face here. Now let's see, I'm going to take a little bit of burnt umber again. And I'll go back into this area where I made this yellow. It's all good, just a little bit. Okay, now I want to get some orange. Okay, something like that. You can see how much that orange really takes over there. So there's more brown than orange in this. Okay, something like that. And let's see, I think I want to warm it just a bit with some yellow. Okay, something like that. And let's get a little white. Okay. I don't know, something like this. Okay, I want to get a little bit more burnt umber into that. Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking something like that. These are kind of just base colors. I'm going to work on top of these. I'm going to adjust, cover up some if I don't like it, just different things. Okay, so you can see I've got these values here to play with now, and I'm going to work off of those for the face. I'm going to take my number 18 angle brush now and start filling just general values where they go for now. Okay, I'm going to take this light value here. I'm going to call this my very light portrait paint color. Okay, just a little bit of paint on the brush. And let's see, I'm going to go right up here. Okay, see, just covering up that blue that spilled in, all good. Well, I want a different value down in here. Okay, so I'm going to go kind of like that. I'm going to go some burnt umber, okay, to make up a different value here. And I'm going to get just a little bit of yellow to warm up that brown. Okay, something like that. Let's see, a little bit more yellow. Okay, there we go, something like that, a warm brown. And let's get some white into that. Okay, a little bit more burnt umber to that. Mixing all that color up. Okay. Okay, right there. Now you can see all those values there. Just want to take maybe a little bit of this color here, and let's go a little bit more burnt and raw umber to that. Okay, maybe more raw umber to that. See that? I want to darken this. Okay, and let's see. I'm gonna go in here a little bit, okay, with this darker value. Okay, just kind of getting some of that paint off the brush and getting that chiseled edge on it. It's important to load these the right way to get that control that you want to get on these brushes, so they're not all fraying out and going all wild on you. I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush now. I want to take just a little bit of this, a little bit of white, a little bit of this kind of yellowish color here, okay, beige color, and I want to continue blocking in here. See, you'll see here, just slightly different of a light value than this value up here. So things kind of change up here, so it's all good, okay. I think I want to go this color here. Okay, and again, I'm going to play colors on top of stuff. You're just starting to get the texture of the water that's going to be gleaming off of her face here. Okay, just little stuff, little things like that. You get a little bit more white onto that. Okay, get a little bit lighter with that value, and right here. Want to get this darker color again, and I want to go want to do now is just take a little bit of orange and yellow and some white. Okay, back to some of this and that, and let's see. All right, let's see. A little bit of yellow. I don't know, something kind of like that, probably. All right, and do is I'm going to take a little bit of phthalo blue and raw umber together. Just a little bit of raw umber just to kind of knock it down a bit. And let's see. Alright, something dark. I'm going to be dealing with the shadow area here of the face. Okay, so something like this. Something like that, and what I want to do is actually get a little darker. I'm going to go a little bit more phthalo blue and more raw umber together. Okay, something like that. Okay, now while I have this color on my brush, I'm going to get a little bit more of it actually. Okay, more of the raw umber and phthalo blue together. And let's block in the hair. I'm just going to fill the whole thing in, and I'll come in here and open up some of the hair with this background color once it dries. Okay, and now what I want to do is, let's see, take a little phthalo blue and white. Okay, and right in here, and I'm going to dust this up a little bit, just kind of right where it's at. I don't want to take it up too far. Okay, just kind of like this. I don't know, some reflective thing here. Okay, and let's see, I just want to do the outside outline of this. Okay, I'm going to clean this brush again with this, maybe a little bit of this. Alright, something like that. And I want to go again, let's block in some more. Okay, without cleaning, I'm just going to take some of this. Okay, and let's I'm going to get a little bit of this orange. Okay, not much. And I kind of want to go up here with some of that. Okay, something like that. Just getting that going there. Okay, and let's see, I'm gonna go a little bit with this. Okay, back to my number 6. Little small flat brush here, nylon flat brush. I'm gonna take this and go in here with some of the details here. And let's see, I want to go with this light color again. Okay, to fill this in. And let's see, it's going to be in here. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this brush again. Let's see, some of this and some of this. Okay, for kind of a skin color here. Okay, something like this. And I'm going to just go in here and block this in right here on the ear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of red, a little bit of orange. Okay, something like that. And let's go up in here. And now let's see, I just want to take, I think, a little bit of burnt umber into that. Okay. See that? A little bit of burnt umber into that. Okay. All right. And go in here. Kind of getting those colors valued in there. Laid in for the values, I should say. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit of raw umber now, no cleaning. And what I'm going to do is down right here. Just going to go. If I get out of bounds here, of course, I can take this background, I'll cover that up. All good. Okay, so just going to bring this up, just kind of heading the canvas, just barely. Okay, just kind of letting this kind of fade up a little bit. Show some shadow here on the ear, see that? Okay, let's see, get these little things going here. Okay, and now I'm going to get some titanium white now. And I'm going to strike. Okay. Maybe okay. However, and I'm going to take most of all that paint off because it's just titanium white, and I want to go a little bit more red and maybe a little bit of orange and yellow. Okay, just maybe more red into that. Okay, something like that, and just kind of right here. Okay, something like that, maybe, yeah. And also, okay, continuing on now, I'm just going to take the same brush. I want to continue to do these things, and I want to go with this. Let's see a little bit of that light value stuff here. Okay, something like that. Just going to continue on with blocking these shapes in and doing these values here. Okay, playing them in where they go generally. Okay, now I just want to take a little bit of red, just a little bit. Okay, and just sort of want to hit the outside here. Okay, just a little bit of this red I want to glaze in just a bit. Okay, just some things. And of course with each layer it's going to get better, so I'm not tripping on it at all. Okay, just a little bit of that. Okay, cleaning this brush again to this light value. And I want to hit this. Okay, without cleaning, I'm going to take just a little bit of these right here. Okay. And let's go just kind of down to this line right here. Okay, now I just want to get just a little bit of this without cleaning. Okay, very, very little paint on the brush, and I just want to kind of right here. Okay, kind of something like that. I'm gonna go some raw umber. Okay, just straight up, and just gonna go kind of something like this. And I wanted to kind of do something like this. Okay, just the reflections of things. See that? All right, now I'm gonna also be working over here. Okay, just with the edge of the brush, it's going to be some eyelash, whatchamacallit, shadow there. Sure, okay, I want to get some raw umber and some phthalo blue. Okay, just kind of something like this. Again, those dark pieces, or those dark values here. Okay, to make this really, really dark value here. Okay, and I want to go in here and get the eye here. nostrils here. Okay, there we go. And while I'm at it, I might as well do in the mouth here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go up here like this. Just to show kind of the way it's going. I want to take this value again, and I feel like this eye is open way too much. I want her to have her eyes closed, so I'm going to start doing some little things up here. So I'm actually going to take this value now. Okay. And I'm going to do these little things here. Okay. These little shapes. Okay, I'm going to take some more of this. Okay, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say let's go with this. Okay. And what I want to do, of course, is kind of settle down just some of this. And I don't want to cover it up. I just want to settle it down. See this? Okay, so we got some colors now. We got some shadows. Okay, we got some things happening. Take a little bit of white into that. And okay, something like that. I'm going to take my script liner brush now. I'm going to do some of the, whatchamacallit, the eyebrows. All right, lots of water on this. Okay, going into blue and black, blue and brown here for that black. Okay, pulling through as I turn it to a nice sharp tip. Very important how I load the brush. Okay, and let's see, right in this area here. So I'm going to okay, and so I'm just gonna okay, and I can always knock it down, of course, if I need to. All right, so okay, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to put some other values and just kind of glaze over what's here and give this kind of light play and skin color kind of thing happening here. And I'm going to take my number 6 nylon flat brush here to kind of do this stuff. You can use whatever brush you want. And so I'm going to paint, let's see, I'm going to get this color orange that I made here. Okay, I want a little bit more orange and maybe some yellow into that. Okay, let's see what I get here when I do this. Okay, is that the yellow, or sorry, the orange that I want? Let's go like this. Okay, maybe a bit more white, and let's see. I'm thinking something close to this tone here. Okay, I'm gonna wipe a lot of that paint off the brush and just want to go in here, like I said, just kind of glaze in some things here on the outside between where this dark and light meet here. Just kind of want to sort of brush in this little bit here. Okay, a little bit more saturated on the orange than I want, so look at, I can just adjust my color. I'm just going to take some yellow and I'm going to get some white. Okay, let's go back into some of that orange just a little bit. Okay, and I'm thinking something like that. Okay, let's go back in and look this again. Okay, there we go. See how much softer that is? I can go over this orange that I did here and just kind of, like I said, just gently pet the canvas with the bristles. I can just glaze it in and I can still kind of see this color in here. But see, it's got sort of that orange kind of hue to it. You just kind of sneaking this color in. Sometimes colors, you know, they kind of sneak in and they'll subtly play with other colors involved, and it'll kind of change up the view that you get as far as the color that you see coming out of it all at once. And it can add or take away depending on how I want to blend these colors and play them together. Okay, so I'm just kind of doing something like this. See that? Just these little reflections of water. Okay, so something like this. I'm gonna knock back some of this stuff here on the eyebrows. They're a little bit more bushier than I wanted. I want to make them more lighter and thinner, so that's easy. I can just take the value that it's on top of and then just hash that in, knock that back. If I go too much, of course, take the dark and I'll hash back in less than this. But just whatever you need to do, always make adjustments if you need to. Acrylic's super forgiving. You can always do anything and change anything at any time. All right, don't have to put up with nothing if you don't want to. So all good. Just make the necessary adjustments and all is well. Okay, let's see, a little bit there. So we got a little bit of color there going on. Okay, just gonna take some of that blue and some of that white. Okay, I just kind of want to go over here and I just want to kind of just etch in some of these lines here. See this? Just kind of randomly. And that doesn't show up too much. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this kind of brownish color here. Okay, and look, I don't need to clean. It's all good. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of do some more of these little shapes here. See that? Okay, so it's just kind of evening out the face. I didn't want to have some big blotchy, I don't know, whatever that was going on there, I guess. All right, so just gonna kind of lightly, see if I go light with the brush, looks like it's more blended in. It looks more natural, and other times some of them might look more dark and opaque like this. So depending on how much paint and how hard I push with the brush depends on how transparent or opaque something's gonna look. And I feel like all these differences, when I play them in, is what makes that all the difference on that. Okay, so just kind of playing these here and there. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna play a little bit on the chin here, just a little bit. Okay, a little bit there, maybe some of that color right here where these two values meet there. Okay, something like that maybe. All right, and let's see, I'm gonna go a little bit of yellow. Okay, not much. Let's get some white now into that. Okay, a very light color. Let's see, a little bit more white now. Okay, maybe something like that. So, see, just playing these light tones back and forth, these soft blends and just different stuff. Okay, just all good. See, I can work some of that back in here and kind of in between some of this, letting some of this play along. Okay, just little things like this. I'm going to reload the brush and get that nice chiseled edge on this flat brush. And right here, I'm going to hash in just a few things like this. See, just kind of randomly. And that kind of breaks up this shadow here. So it kind of looks like the eyelashes, when I put them in, are going to be reflecting right there. The shadow of the eyelashes are going to be hitting right here. And again, if I take too much of this away, I can go back in with dark and just fill it right back in. It's all good. Okay, and actually I want to knock some more of this back. Let's see, as much or little as you want. And again, put back whatever you take away if it takes too much away. It's all good. Okay, right here, there's another shadow right here, as I did before. See, and I can also thin some of these lines if they're too thick, the shadows here, see this? Like right here. And just thin that out, just like that. Okay, anything you want to do. Okay, no cleaning. What I want to do now is just take a little bit of orange. Okay, a little bit of white. Not too much. Okay, so this orangey value here. Okay, very, very, very little paint on the brush. What I want to do is just kind of strike some of this value in here. Okay, just a little bit. See this? Just to kind of give a glow sort of kind of deal happening here. Okay, something like that. I want to go a little darker now. I think I'm gonna be able to pop some shadows out of here. So let's see, I'm gonna go some burnt umber, maybe a little raw umber into that. Okay, not too much. Okay, and just a little bit of paint on the brush. And I want to go kind of right here. Just kind of gently kind of brush this in and fade it off into that lighter orange. I don't want to take over all of it. But just kind of something like that where it's just kind of showing a darker value right here. I want to get more depth on the face here, so if I do this darker stuff in here, I feel like it's going to really show a little bit of dimension there. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to pet this off, actually just kind of fade it off, right, like so. Okay, just gently brushing it with the very tip of the brush, not really bending the bristles. As you can see, it's just easy to blend like this. Okay, and of course, a natural bristle brush like a hog bristle brush works really good for blending and doing this effect. Granted, it stays very dry, but I feel like I have more control in smaller areas with more specific shapes if I use this and just use very little pressure and do it this way. So any way you're comfortable with, just some other options there for you if you how you want to do it. All good. Okay, and I want to get now a little bit more raw umber. That's the darker brown here, and just want to go a little darker down in here. Yeah, I feel like down here her cheek is curving a little bit right there, and it's a little bit darker away from the light over on this side. Okay, so maybe I can pop some more of that dimension out of here if I do it like this. Okay, and all right, also with this dark value, I want to go a little bit darker over here. Into this lighter value here to show the highlight here of the eyebrow or the eyelid, whatever. Okay, and also let's see, I want to bring in just very lightly a couple little striking lines, one right there, maybe one, I don't know, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush, get that dark out of there, and what I want to do now is I want to take a little bit of this, a little bit of burnt umber to that. Okay, it's kind of this, maybe some raw umber to that. I want to darken that a bit. Okay, something kind of like that. I want to very chiseled edge here. I want to knock back some of this ridiculously kind of, I don't know. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to take some light, actually. Okay, and let's see if I can go like, okay, getting that chiseled edge, and let me just see if I can knock back some of this. Okay, so something like that. You can see I'm going to get a little bit more white. Actually, I'm going to get this value here without cleaning. I'm going to take a little bit more white to that. And okay, wiggling it, pulling it through, and I get that nice chiseled edge. Okay, and again, I can also use my script liner brush or use like an angle brush if I want to use, you know, for other, if I prefer that. So again, use whatever brush you want that you're comfortable with. Okay, look, I can even knock back some of these if they went out too far. Okay, so just kind of something like that, and let's see. Okay, maybe kind of do something like that. I don't know. I want to go again into some burnt umber. Maybe a little bit of that color here. They made there, okay. All right, something like that, and let's see. Okay, a little bit of this color here. Okay, these little things. Just building up these little shades and these little blends and all the different tones and values and all that stuff. It really makes for a nice painting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go this line here a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit of this raw umber. Let's see, let's go burnt umber. Let's get a little phthalo blue. Okay, that'll give it that really dark Payne's gray sort of color there. Okay, kind of something like that. All right, wiping a lot of that color again off my brush. I want to come right here underneath this and just kind of show a shadow right here. Okay, I'm just gonna lightly brush it down and kind of come over this a little bit and make this a little darker. Okay, see, kind of something like that. Very, very light. I don't want to take over this color here. This is going to make it kind of a glow from from out of the shadow. As the color leaves the shadow here, it's going to glow a little bit from the light kind of hitting it. Just kind of pops it a little bit. I like that when it does that. Okay, something like that. Just a nice, more of a contrast shadow there. And also right here, so the nose and the eyes will be more dramatic and pop that much more. Okay, showing more detail in that way. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I've got my script liner brush now. And I'm gonna go into a lot of water. Always want a lot of water with a script liner. Okay, I'm gonna go blue and brown together. Again, for that very dark Payne's gray, made natural black, as I like to call it. Okay, and let's see. Okay, have it running like ink. Okay, something like that. I'm gonna pull through as I turn it a couple different times here. And it loads it super well with that nice tip at the end. I can use that to be very precise, and just going to kind of do this, barely touching the canvas. Okay. Okay, little eyelashes there. How about that? And then also, let's see, maybe down here a little bit. I don't know. Okay, kind of something like that. And let's do the other side. Okay, so now I'm gonna go again, barely touching the canvas. Okay, something like that, and also And actually what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of red with some raw umber and some titanium white. Okay, more titanium white, and actually I want to take some of this light value here. Okay, let's see. More titanium white. Let's see, more water. And titanium white. Alright, let's see. Here we go. Okay, pulling it through as I turn it to a point, and I want to go kind of right here. Okay, just kind of show some of the eye here. See that? And also I want to put some of this in between. See this like this? Just kind of shows the eye a little bit more, I think. And then also in here. Okay, something like that. And I'm actually gonna knock some of this back. I think the eye, she looks like she's kind of peeking a little bit. I want her to totally look like her eyes are really closed. There we go. See that? Just little things. And you can totally change everything. Everything and anything, just like that. All right, I'm gonna go now back to my number 6 flat nylon flat brush here. I'm gonna go ahead and do some other things here for the highlights on the nose. I'm gonna go ahead and take this color here, maybe a slight bit of yellow, I don't know, let's see. Okay, I don't know, something like this maybe. Let's see what I get here. As you know, I can always change something, cover it up if I don't like it. Okay, so right in here, I want to leave just a teeny bit of this dark value at the very edge of the nose. I don't want to take over all of it, but just almost to it. I just barely want to come up to it, where you can still barely kind of see it. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this down. And let's see. Okay. It's just little striking stuff here, and then also I don't know, maybe something right here too. Okay, just getting some highlight on that. And now here's what I want to do. I want to wipe most of that paint off the brush. And I just want to very gently, right here, just kind of stir it up and blend it right there where it's at. Okay, very, very light pressure with the brush, not bending the bristles really at all. Okay, just creeping that over these other values here, and I can get that very nice soft blend. See that? You can go like this. Just kind of bring it down. If I go too far, I'll just take that darker value and go back up the other way. Okay, but see that? It just really makes that natural, and it pops that out of there pretty good. Okay, and also, let's see, I'm gonna go a little bit of this. Okay, it's got a little white in there, and that's fine. And I'm gonna go just kind of like this, just where these two meet. I'm gonna sort of blend over those two values here. Okay, just kind of gives it more of a natural transition. Okay, see that? Something like that. I want to do something here. I want to take, without cleaning, I'm going to get some orange and some red. And so let's get some yellow to set that off. Make that really vibrant. Okay, a little bit more orange. Okay, something like this. And what I want to do is save some of this black. And this is going to be some light kind of sort of hitting through her here. Okay, something like this. Okay, just gonna block in with this right here. I'm gonna take that color. Let's get some white into that. Let's get some more yellow and white. Maybe some more orange. There we go. Maybe something light like this. Where the light's hitting it the strongest up here, I just want to sort of do this right here. See that? And just kind of blend that down just a little bit. See? Not taking over the whole thing, of course. And let's see, what I want to do is actually take a little bit of red. Okay, just a little bit. And I just want to sort of go up in this corner up here, kind of the upper part of this oval shape here of this orange value in here, and just kind of hit the top just like that. Okay, and then kind of blend down like that. See that? And now I want to wipe that paint off the brush. I want to take a little bit more white, go back into that orangey red color. Okay, and just kind of hit this right here. Right in between that red and this darker orange, I want to leave that and just kind of fade it this way and fade this that way. Okay, maybe something kind of like that. And now on top of that, I want to take again a little orange and yellow. Okay, a little bit more saturated. And kind of working in this smaller area can get a little bit tedious, I guess, but it's all good. It makes all the difference. Okay, I'm gonna say something like that. And let's see, I want to go again some of that blue and that raw umber for that dark value again. Okay, something like that. And just want to kind of touch this up a little bit here. Let's see. Okay. Just want to get this more in forest also in here as well. Okay, and let's see, I want to go a little bit of shadow in here. And let's see, now I want to take just a little bit of titanium white to that same value that I just had. Okay, it's got a little bit of a blue hue to it now, and just want to take and continue this shadow, but have it kind of change a little bit on the value on the blue side there as it comes down. Okay, and I'll just kind of run this. Now what I want to do, I want to take just a little bit of phthalo green, okay, and some titanium white now. And I've got those other colors in there to dull that down, which is perfect because that's what I want to do. See, so sometimes you don't need to clean. It's just you already got the dullers in the brush that you're going to add to the next color anyway, so I figure I'll just keep my brush going. Okay, no need to clean all the time. Okay, so as you can see, it's got, let's see, just a little bit more green. It's got this turquoise hue to it, and that's perfect. I want to show some of the water reflection on her face. Okay, just with this value just here and there. You just kind of want to strike this. Okay, just kind of something like that. Okay, some of that's up here as well. Okay, something like that. Heck, there's even some of that right over here. And why not? Okay, and even some of that in here. Now I'm just going to take titanium white. And I really want to hit some really bright highlights, so like right in here, just where I want it the heaviest and the brightest, I'll apply the paint there first. Okay. I'm just kind of dragging this down again for that blend. So I want to hit some of this right here and highlight just some of the nose here. Okay, now I want to take a little bit of blue and a little bit of violet actually now. Okay, and let's see a little bit more white there. Okay, a little bit more blue. See, blue will eat up everything if you're not careful. It's all good. Let me get a little bit more violet into that now. Okay, now in certain places we have reflective light that's doing different things, getting different tones where no other place will that tone be at that particular moment in time at this angle. So as you can see there, just striking a little bit of this little lavender like hue here. Okay, just little things, I tell you, they do wonders. So many wonderful things. Okay, now I'm gonna go with that same color. Kind of right in here like this with that. Okay, now without cleaning, I'm just gonna take just a little bit of white. Okay, and all I'm gonna do is right here, I'm just gonna kiss the edge right there in the nose. Okay, I'm gonna wipe a lot of that paint off the brush now, pretty much all of it, and I'm gonna drag this light value kind of like this. I'm gonna sort of blend it, just very, very little pressure, the very corner of the brush. And I know it's a very, very small area, but I'm telling you, this makes all the difference on popping this detail of the nose and the dimension and all those cool things. Okay, see that? Just like that. So we got some contrasting warm and cool colors here between the two sides. I think that's pretty cool and very nice photography effect, I think. So let's see, I'm gonna go with some of that value over here. I don't know. Okay, see that? Okay, now without cleaning, or actually, I'm gonna clean my brush. I'm gonna take some raw umber, a little bit of phthalo blue, and a little bit of burnt umber. When I do the burnt umber to this mixture of the raw umber and phthalo blue, it's kind of like adding raw umber to my permanent black. So it's not like super, super dark, like black, but it's, I don't know, it's got somewhat of a brown in there, I guess. Okay, just kind of varying the tones, just little subtle things. I'm telling you, it makes all the difference when you can see one dark tone different just a little bit with another dark tone. And even though you don't see it that way up front, your brain will tell you, and it'll make all the difference on seeing something in a realistic way or in a very flat, kind of maybe boring way. So anyway, that's this is why I'm very subtle with my colors, and I stress that it does make a big difference, these little subtle things. Okay, so with this value, I'm just going to kind of do this, and I'm not going to cover this whole shadow value up. I just want to bring it down almost to the end. Okay, just kind of maybe something like that. And I want to go kind of this color right here. Okay, and let's see. Alrighty, here's what I want to do now. I want to take some burnt umber, and let's get a little orange. Let's get a little bit of yellow into that, yellow medium. Let's get some white. Okay, let's see, I'm looking for about this value right here. Let's see, a little bit more yellow. I like the yellow because it warms it up really well. Of course, white will desaturate and brighten it. Okay, I'm thinking something like this is perfect for what I'm looking for. Very, 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 very little paint on the brush. And right here, this is kind of a hard line. I kind of want to make it more blending into this stuff here with the reflections off all the water. And to do that, I'm just going to kind of brush gently right here. Just sort of take this down over this dark value and up into the light value, and just kind of go back and forth between where they meet, and see if I can just kind of blend this, give this kind of natural look here to it. Okay, kind of something like this. Okay, so as you can see, just kind of blending this all down, just kind of showing this little thing here happening, but I don't want the light to come down too far like that, so I'm going to change this up. Okay, see, I can always go back over it again. I'm going to take that raw umber and phthalo blue mixture here, that dark value. And let's see, I'm going to apply that right in here. And watch. I can just come up here, knock all this back. And I'm going to actually stir that up right in here. You just kind of in a circular motion, just to kind of get these little things here, you know, I don't know, just kind of this water reflection kind of shape thing happening. But I want to show natural light play and transition, okay, by doing it this way and bringing this up into that just a little bit. Okay, see that? And I like how much more natural that looks. See that? Now it's like a real shadow play happening here. Very realistic. I like that. And just go ahead and fill this in a little bit more. Okay, something like that. And just gonna sort of blend this out. I don't know. Just kind of something like this. Okay, and also while I'm with this dark value, while I have it on my brush, I'm going to take again that dark value of the blue and the raw umber, and I want to fill in the rest of the ear. Okay, just kind of like this. I'm going to leave this outer part here. Okay, something like that. And now without cleaning, I'm just going to take some titanium white. Let's get a little bit more blue. Okay, maybe something like that. Just a light blue here. And I'm going to strike this just so that I can see that a little bit better. Okay, something like that. Okay, something for the ear there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. Let's go with some permanent red, a little bit of raw umber to that. Okay, let's get some white to desaturate that a bit, maybe a little bit more raw umber. Okay, I don't know, something like that. Let's see, maybe a little bit more raw umber. Okay, something like that. Kind of a maroon, kind of a light muted maroon. And I'm gonna go, let's see. Okay, and let's see. I'm just gonna block this in right here, this bottom part of it. Let's see a little bit more white. Okay, and let's get more white. And right in here. Okay, I'm just getting general values where they go right now. This isn't final anything by any means. going to get a little bit more of this color. I'm going to get a little bit more red in there. Okay, for some more saturation. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get a little orange actually. Not too much. Okay. Let's see. And what I want to do is actually hit right here with that, because this is going to be a really vibrant, kind of a glowing light that's kind of bouncing off the lip here, this part of it. Okay, and also right here, just want to give just a little bit of sort of an outer glow on the mouth there. Okay, just a little bit. Now, let's see, I'm going to get a little bit of titanium white into some of this. Okay, just a little bit to go a little bit lighter. And right in here. And notice the value between this and this and this and this, how they're all three different. This is what I'm looking for here. Okay, just kind of blending that right there, just a little bit. Okay, and also over here a little bit. Before I do that, I want to get some of this value just kind of right down in here, just a little bit, because I want to blend with this color and have some of this all here, you know what I mean, when I blend this, so it can give that glow and all that effect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take some more red. Let's go with some raw umber. Okay, a lot more raw umber actually. Okay, maybe something like that. And I want to take some titanium white. Okay, and I want to fix this mouth just a little bit here. I'm going to go cleaning that brush. I'm going to take some more red here. Let's get some orange into that. I want to get a little white. Okay, something really fiery like this, really vibrant. Okay, for this part right here, and I'm also going to use it to fix part of the mouth as well. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to go some more titanium white into this value again. That firecracker value. Let's see, maybe a little bit more yellow and some more red, and let's go more orange and red and orange and yellow and white. All right, let's see. Okay, just kind of something like this. Okay, you got your warm colors and some white. Okay, I've got a teeny bit of raw umber in there as well already in my brush, so it kind of dulls it just a little bit for some realism. But I'm thinking like this. Okay, yeah, see that? One more vibrant color here. I'm gonna make this pop just a little bit better. Okay, something like that, I think. Now I'm gonna clean this brush, get that light color off of there, and we'll see. I'm gonna go with a little bit of raw umber and some of that red again. Okay. And just want to do these little These little lines here, see this? These little cracks on the little natural lines there, see that? Also going to take and kind of brush over some of this a little bit. See this? See, I want to go a little bit more white actually. Okay, just kind of something like this, and right here. I'm going to go ahead now and take that dark, that blue, and that raw umber. And watch this, I can just come back in here again. I can knock these back a little bit. Let me get this dark line established right here. Okay. And now I'm just going to fade the rest of it off, just like right in this area. Okay, see, just like that. And now I'm going to clean my brush again. See, I'm going to, again, take some of this raw umber and some of the red here, and I just want to go, okay, something like, okay, these little things here. Okay, now a little bit more white, okay, to that same value. And I just want to bring this down. Okay, just kind of glazing this over on the edges here where the light and this meet. It's just, I'm also settling down some things as well. Okay, all good. And also, okay, now I'm just going to go into some titanium white. Okay, no cleaning necessary. Okay, just a little bit. And I want to hit some of the teeth here, just a few little sparklers here. I'm just going to tap it with the corner of the brush like so. Okay, just kind of like this, just to show some light kind of striking off of them a little bit. Kind of brings in more depth and dimension to it. And then also right here on the lip, just a little bit of striking highlight just to build it up a little bit more. Okay, and just a little bit of paint left on that brush. You can see I'm just going to sort of glaze that over and just make it more natural and faded and give it that natural look to it, just like so. Alrighty, now no cleaning. I'm going to take some permanent red, just a little bit on the brush, and on the bottom lip here, I just want to scratch in just a little bit of this just to kind of pop it out of there, kind of show some light hitting it and a little bit of glow off of it like so. Okay, no cleaning again. I'm going to go into that dark value of the blue and the raw umber. Okay, my darkest value in the piece, of course, and I want to go in the mouth here And I just want to open the mouth just a teeny bit more. As you can see, I can always adjust anything at any time. So I'm just gonna go over the lip like so. Okay, just kind of knock this back just a bit. Okay, make this mouth however you want and totally just play around with it. Anything goes. As you can see, just can cover anything up and just knock it back anytime. So just kind of something like this. Okay, with that same value, as you can see, just gonna strike some little things up here on the very top. Okay, again, I can always cover it up. I just want to get it laid in, just kind of fading it off, okay? All right, now with a clean brush, I'm gonna go into some more of that red and raw umber for that dark maroon value, but I want a little bit more red in it and not quite as dark. I wanna go on this darker value here. Okay, right up here, just wanna give it kind of a lip here, a definition between kind of the face and the mouth there. Okay, now I'm going to take some titanium white with a clean brush. And let's go, let's see, right here. I want to brighten this, kind of just give it some striking highlights, but I don't want to cover up that dark line that I just put. I just want to make more of a contrast with this brighter value. Okay, just kind of something like this. Okay, now I'm going to go with a clean brush again to some of that yellow medium, some of that raw umber. Let's get some titanium white. I'm looking for a very light muted beige yellow color here. Okay, so a lot more white. The brown's just to dull it down, as you know. And I'm thinking something like this. Okay, this light cream color here. And I want to go on the chin again, and I want to extend this down a little bit. The shadow kind of went up too far. So again, as you can see, just adjusting things, putting things where they start and end. All good. Just cover it up, knock it back, and just like so. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go now into some more brown. That's the burnt umber there. Let's get some more yellow medium to warm that up. Okay, a little bit more brown. As you can see, no white this time. And it's this more brownish beige color. Okay, a little bit more color, a little bit darker, and right where those two values meet, I want to go right on top of that and kind of blend up and then down into the shadow a little bit. Just gives it more of a natural shadow play and transition this way. Okay, I'm going to take a little titanium white, a little bit of that yellow there. Okay, just a little bit. And I want to go kind of over some of these. Let's see, a little bit more white. Okay, I'm going to take some red and some raw umber. Okay, wiping a lot of that paint off the brush. I'm going to bring these teeth up just a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to get more white than that, okay? Just a little bit. I want the teeth up here. Just a teeny, teeny, teeny bit. A very teeny bit. And let me see, I'm gonna go with some raw umber. Just some raw umber. All right, let's go like this. Okay, just gonna pet that again. I'm gonna go ahead and once again, that red and that brown. And let's see, I'm gonna go okay. I'm going to play around with these values a little bit more. I'm going to get some more red and orange and yellow. Okay, let's get some white into that. All right, let's see. Looking for that firecracker, vibrant kind of red here. Okay, and let's go up here. I want to take a little bit of this, just a little bit, and kind of want to just glaze over this just a bit. Okay, and also right in here. And let's see, I want to go again with some of this, maybe a little red in there. Okay, and again, I want to go up here. Okay, something like that. Okay, a little bit of shadow play right in here. I want to knock back some of that. So let me see. Let's get a little bit of white, maybe a little bit of this. I don't know. Okay, and here's what I want to do is go okay, just kind of something like that again. Just adjusting the mouth, seeing what I can come up with here. Let's see, should kind of maybe thin down a little right there. I don't know. And without cleaning, I'm just going to take some more of this red and some of this brown here. I want to bring this down again. Okay, I'm going to take some raw umber and some blue together. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to, again, just kind of fade this up. I'm going to go ahead and keep going with my number 6 nylon flat brush here. I'm going to do some more things here. And I want to go now to some violet and some phthalo blue and titanium white. Okay, something like that. And actually, I want it more royal phthalo blue here. Let's see. Okay, something like that, yeah. All right, and so I want to go in here and like strike some of these things in here like this. Okay, something like this maybe, yeah. Okay, however. Okay, freestyle this all up. It's all good. Take this dark color, knock stuff back if you don't like something. Yeah, you're always in business. Okay, now what I want to do is, I think I want to take a little bit of phthalo green, phthalo blue maybe, yeah. And let's see. Okay, maybe something like that, and just a little bit of paint on the brush. And I'm gonna scratch in just some of this right here, see this? Nothing too fancy here, just kind of streaking some of this. It gives it a little glow, see that? See that? It just kind of ramps it up, just kind of does something there, this too. Okay, I don't know. Okay, however you want to do that, that's all good. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more green, a little bit more white. Okay, and just want to sort of go like that. It kind of does this thing. Okay, I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna get some burnt umber and some yellow, and now titanium white. Get a little bit of this value in there as well. Okay, something like this for a light kind of beige tone here. Maybe a little bit more of this. Okay. And what I want to do is actually settle down just some of this stuff here. I thought it was maybe a little too dramatic. I'm going to get a little bit more burnt umber. Okay, I have my palette knife now, and I'm going to take, let's see, some phthalo blue. And let's get some raw umber into that. Okay, more raw umber. Blue will take over everything. So more raw umber than blue. Just a little bit more, actually. It's fine. Okay, and so let's see. I'm going to go into that value with lots of water. Lots of water. Okay, just like that, pulling through as I turn it. Brings it to a nice sharp tip. And I want to start doing some of these hairs like this. See this? Okay, just And what I want to do is take some phthalo blue, maybe a little phthalo green, just a little bit of raw umber, and now some titanium white. Okay, let's see. Look at this paint run for its life. There, I'll stop it like that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go, let's see, with that vibrant kind of background color here. Let's get a little phthalo blue and some titanium white. Maybe a little phthalo green. Okay, I'm just looking for that background color again. And I want to go in here and really want to settle down some of this. Okay, I don't know, something like that maybe. Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of ride this out. Let's see. Let's get some more blue and some of this. Maybe I can change that back. Okay, yeah, I can. And also, I'm just trying to put more layers down too to cover up this dark. Yeah, it's a little bit out of whack. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my script liner brush. I'm gonna go back to that really dark value here. Okay. Okay, pulling through as I turn it to a point, and let's see. Let's try this one more time. Okay, I want to take some of that background color also. Okay, just this light value here. And actually, let's see. Let's get it more turquoised up. All right, something I'm thinking like this, yeah. Okay, and let's go, let's see, just here and there, but not everywhere. Okay, and I'm gonna do these little things here. Okay, maybe these little streaks. I'm gonna go in here actually and not just some of that back, see that? What I want to do now is take my number 3 nylon round brush again, and I'm going to go back into that blue. Maybe there's a little turquoise in there. Okay, pull it through to a point, and I'm going to do these little bubbles here, just here and there. Okay, something like that. I'm just kind of laying in the shape for now, just getting these things rolling in here. Now without cleaning, I'm going to take some raw umber again for that dark value. Okay, pulling it through to a point again, and okay, little bubbles down here too. I'm going to take just titanium white, okay, pulling through as I turn it to a point again, and going to do this number here. See this? There's a bubble there. There's a bubble there. I don't know, wherever. There's one there. Okay, maybe some right there. Okay. How about that? Something like that. And let's put some of these right over here. Okay. Something like that. See that? And I'll just keep going with these. What I want to do is go back into that dark value of the blue and the raw umber. Okay. Because I want to do something kind of neat here. I want to take that, turn that to a nice sharp tip. And I want to come in here and I want to do something like this. Watch this. It just does something to the water effect here, I think. You know, when you put this little stuff in like this. Okay, I don't know. I think it does something like that. I want to take a little of this yellow and I want to take some raw umber to that. And I want to take some titanium white to that. Okay, let me get a little bit more of that raw umber to it. Okay, and I'm just gonna sort of strike in some highlights like this. See this? Let's see, I'm gonna go just a little titanium white. Okay, just a teeny bit of paint. And just some of this. Okay. I don't know. Just kind of adding some light in there. Okay, with my script liner brush now, lots of water and titanium white. I'm going to go ahead and sign, I think, right here. And I want to thank you so much for following along. I hope this lesson was clear enough. I got to admit, portraits are a bit tough. You know, every little thing matters. Every little line. You're literally like a millimeter away from making the whole thing look really weird. It's portraits. They just have to be very, very, very precise, or it's just going to be one of those messy kind of deals. I don't know. I mean, as you saw, I had to fix the mouth a few times, and I'm going to be honest, it's not exactly what I wanted so much. I mean, it's like I said, portraits are tough, but as far as the colors go and the effects, you can see how the water, with all these different values playing in here and all the different curved lines, just kind of gives that effect with the bubbles and everything. So anyway, there's our underwater portrait painting, as it's called. And once again, Jackie, I want to thank you for recommending this. If everybody, this was her recommendation, and she requested this. So thank you again. And to all of you, thank you so much. And I want to wish you well and happy painting to you.